So just recently, my studio has gone through some changes, and I would say for the better. I've actually started to get rid of a lot of gear that I had, and I've been grateful that I've been able to have some type of gear to try out and test out, but I'm also grateful to know what I need and what I do not need. And one thing I've realized is that less is more for me, and I just kind of lost my creativity when I had different pieces of audio gear. It's great and it's fun, but I noticed that I would get way too caught up in the technical side. And I've said this before, I would say this back when I was living in our garage, is that having too many options sometimes just hinders my creativity, and it makes things a lot more complicated than they really are. So I noticed that little by little I started to get one piece of gear, another, and then another piece, and before I knew it, I was already getting back into that mindset. I didn't want to get into numbers and start dialing in mixes. I wanted to make sure I made it a simple beat making studio. Now, with me saying that, I think it's very important to know what your goal is, to know what it is that you want to do in 5 or 10 years from now, because based off of where you see yourself, I think that will make a decision whether you should buy certain pieces of audio gear. What you see right here, I'm actually in the corner where most of the action happens for me. This is me right here, and this is where I feel like I develop my creative side more proficient than anything else. So let's get right into it, but before we jump into it, I do want to say thank you to today's sponsor, DistroKid. DistroKid is an awesome and easy way to distribute, publish your music to all streaming platforms. The reason why I use DistroKid because they have really good tools such as the one I'm going to go over in this video, which is called hyperfollow links. A hyperfollow link gets rid of having to put 20 different links to iTunes, Spotify, Tilda. It creates one landing page where whoever clicks on that link, they could select where it is they want to listen to your song. Now, it's very easy to create. Once you have an account with DistroKid, go ahead and select the project that you want to create a hyperfollow link to. You'll scroll down where it says hyperfollow and hit visit. Once you're in this page, you go to your upper right hand side and hit edit this page. Once you're right here, you're able to see the link that you'll be sharing. And as you scroll down, you'll see the link section. And right here, you have different streaming platforms. And this is just convenient for your audience. Whatever it is that they use, they could just click on that link and start listening to your song. And down here, we have your social media links where you can put your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your personal website, or your YouTube page where people could get connected. And at the very bottom, you could embed a YouTube video. So if you have a music video for that song or that project, you could add it right here. And at the very bottom, you could hit save changes. You could preview this page. And as you can see, it is one landing page with all of your links to social media, a music video, a small 30-second preview of the song in the different streaming platforms. It makes it very convenient for anybody to listen to your music and to get connected with you. Now, it's really cool because when you create a DistroKid account, a hyperfollow link is included with your account. Now, go ahead and sign up today using my link to receive a 7% discount and start using hyperfollow links today. Now, I want to go ahead and start with the first piece, which is going to be the desk that I'm using at the moment. As you'll see, I have these two pieces are separate, but they are from the same desk. You could buy a full-blown desk, or you could buy just this, I don't know what it's called, I guess just the main desk where you put your computer and your speakers. But for me, I actually got both of these pieces. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to know anything with the pieces that I got, make sure you go down to the link of this video. I'll leave some links to Zounds where you guys can purchase all this stuff that I'm going to mention on Zounds. Zounds is an awesome place to shop at. A lot of the times they don't check your credit, so you can go ahead and make payments and pick up some of this gear and start using it while you make payments. So make sure you check them out. I'll leave all these links down in the description. But this desk is awesome. There's different configurations that you could use. I actually had it set up different a few months ago, and that's when I had all these pieces of audio gear racked onto this desk, and it was great. It looks awesome if that's what you're going for. But I actually just recently wanted to get rid of all these pieces of audio gear and just strip it down to a basic just simple desk where I just have my computer, my monitor, and my keyboard. And that's it. The less clutter my desk is, the more freely I can think. And now moving over to this side mount right here that I have right next to me, this is awesome. You don't even have to buy this full desk. Just buying this little piece alone, I don't know what this is called, but this unit alone is worth it for anybody that makes beats. I'll tell you why. Well, actually not anybody that makes beats, but anybody that works with a standalone setup. The reason why is because this rack right here is perfect for any sampler. I don't know how many samplers there is. I don't know what the size is of an MPC 60. I know those are a lot bigger, but I'm sure this will fit on an MPC 60. It's perfect for your sampler to go right here on top. I have my MPC Live or my MPC 1 right here, my SP404 right next to it. And what's really cool is that right in the bottom, if you slide this out, you'll get an option. You can put either a keyboard right here. For me, I actually have my record or my vinyl player, which is going to be the Audio-Technica LP60. It's just so convenient for someone like me that enjoys sampling, because I have my MPC, and as soon as I want to drop the needle and just dig up for some records, I have it right at my fingertips. If I'm done sampling, I could just slide this right back in and get back to work. Now, if we move down at the bottom, you'll see that you have some more rack slots, but it will take on a few rack units, which I also had this filled up with some EQs, compressors, and different types of pieces. But again, I wanted to take all that stuff out since I was not going to be using it on every beat that I make, and wanted to fill it up with things that I actually use. This stuff represents me. This is what reflects my style of work. I use records. I sample off of vinyl. I am not a musician. I do not play bass. What I use all the time is records. I sample off of vinyl. So I'd rather fill this up with different records that I want to start sampling and have everything right at my fingertips. And another thing I want to mention about this desk that's so cool is that at the back side, at the bottom, you have an option to put this, I don't know what it's called, I guess is like a cable organizer, and this right here will have your studio looking like there's no cables whatsoever. And if you want to pass some of the power cords, you could use some of these legs right here that allow you to put some cables through those legs and just cover it up with the leg, and it looks like you have no cables whatsoever. Oh, and one other thing that I forgot to mention about this desk right here is, as you'll see, I have a small, very simple patch bay. I think I picked this up off of reverb.com for like $80, so it's nothing too special. But this patch bay is so awesome to have, because it makes it so easy for me to be routing connections. So I have, let's say for an example, I have my MPC, I have my record player, and then I have my interface. I just do everything from the front end right here. I could go to the back of the MPC and start plugging my record player to the MPC to the interface. You could do that. It might take you like 3 minutes to do, but when you're doing this every day, and then let's say tomorrow I want to sample off of the computer, so I go back to the, like, just rerouting everything. After a few years, you'll get annoyed by doing that daily. So at this point, I just picked up a patch bay, simple patches. I don't have a bunch of gear. So whatever I could take a load off of the technical side and make that part a lot quicker, I'd rather do that and invest in that and take my time in the creative side when it comes down to chopping up samples and just have fun, being a lot more creative versus technical. Now, moving away from the desk, right on top, you guys already know I use an MPC. That is my favorite sampler of all time. Like, I enjoy my MPC. On top right here, I can fit my MPC 1, and right next to the MPC 1, I have my SP404. I like this combination. It's my favorite combination because these two units just work amazing together. I've done so many videos explaining my setup with the 404 and an MPC. You guys go ahead and click the link up here. I'll leave it right there if you guys want to check that out. But I use the MPC 1 and also the MPC Live Mark II. Both of those machines are very similar to me. It's just a different layout. It just depends on what you feel comfortable with. Smaller pads on the MPC 1 or or the bigger pads on the MPC Live. And now, as you can see in the back of my MPCs, I use these cables right here. These cables, I always get questions like, hey, where did you get these colored cables? I'll leave links down in the description, but these are awesome cables because when I'm using the MPC Live Mark II, I'm running my 6 outputs and I gotta know where's my kick, my snare, and my hi-hat. Like if I want to stem everything out, I kind of know what colors these cables are when I'm selecting my inputs. It just helps me out. I memorize by visual or colors, and it just makes my life easier when I'm routing connections. Now, moving over to my computer setup, my computer, I use a Mac M2 Pro, if I'm not mistaken. This thing is awesome. I just picked this up and it's been the best investment I've done in my studio. The reason why is not because I can run sessions of Ableton. Like I only use 3 tracks, so I do not need this power on a computer for Ableton sessions or beat sessions, since I hardly use any plugins. The reason why I made this investment is because I edit a lot of video, and the video that I edit is just heavy files. And I used to use a Mac, a desktop Mac that was like I think it was a 2017 Intel Mac. I don't know about specs as much, but that thing would just it would be very hard to edit a video. I would have to create proxy files, and it just takes so long to edit a simple video. So now I'm able to film a video right here in my studio setup, and right when I'm done, just import my footage and start chopping up my video. It just helps me turn around these videos a lot faster. So I enjoy this computer. It is more than what I need when it comes down to audio. And now, since I'm using this computer, the mini Mac M2, it does not come with a monitor. So I actually picked up this Asus monitor right here, and I have it with an arm swivel stand in the back of it. It's so cool because I could just drop my monitor the way it is right here, and it looks so sleek. I love the look of it. I know it sounds kind of like I'm nitpicking, but I don't have to tilt my neck up. I could just look straight down at the screen. And not only that, but the reason why I went with the Asus is because price wise, I think it's for $500, and the colors coming out of this, it was so accurate for my color grading. Now, speaking about monitors, I'll jump over to my actual studio monitors, which I use the Focal Solo 6Bs. These Focals, man, I've had these since 2012 and they're still pumping. I mean, I'm pretty much due for an upgrade. These things have been through so much, like they've been through so many trips. Actually, this left speaker went out on me. I had to send it out to get repaired, so they're not accurate because I've beat them up a lot. So I'm sure they're not technically the best monitors right now to mix for the long time that I've used them, but they do the job for me as of right now until I upgrade. And now let me go ahead and just talk about my interface. The interface that I use, I've made videos on this. It's the Apollo interface. So this is the first Apollo that came out. Also, I think I picked this up back in 2011. So I think it was like the very first Apollo that they first had released. It's taken a beating, and it still works for me. I'm still going to use it until I just cannot use it anymore. Then I'll probably upgrade to a different interface. But as of right now, it's awesome. It has 8 inputs and 8 outputs. Actually, you can even expand it with an ADAT connection to, I think it's 32 IO, which is wild, and I'm not going to be using that. So I feel like a 8 input, 8 output interface is something that I really want to have if I ever upgrade, because it's the type of IO that I would want to use. Keep in mind, I want to make sure I say this. This is me. This is what represents me at the moment. I do not have a $4,000 compressor. I do not have a $3,000 EQ. Is it cool to have? Would it be awesome to have? Yes, it would. But does it match with where I see myself 5 years from now? And you need to ask yourself this question. Don't just watch my videos and say, you know what, I need that because he has that and his videos look professional, so that must be good. Like, it's not like that. I use this because this just suits me. For somebody else watching this videos, now with me speaking about all these different pieces of gear and, you know, showing off my studio to you, I want to make sure I say this is I'm very, very grateful. I'm very grateful to be able to have what I have at the moment. I've been doing this for years, and you know, it takes time. And you know, I purchased an MPC, and then after an MPC, I would just get myself some headphones, and then, you know, go to the next step as I continue to grow with what I'm doing. And if I love it, I'm gonna keep investing into it. But if it's just a hobby for you, and you're like, you know what, I just like to make beats on my spare time, it's totally fine to do that, but you're probably not going to get type of monitors that I have. You're probably not going to invest in a desk like this. Maybe just a regular desk that you see in the house is fine. So it's just important to keep that in mind. Everybody's in a different stage in life. Everybody's in a different place with what they're doing. But one thing I will say is, if you love what you do, if you enjoy it, that will help you decide if you do need to upgrade to a better desk or some speakers. Like for me, when I was a kid, when I fell in love with this, I knew that this was going to be a part of me for the rest of my life. And that's the way it's been. I'm 33 years old right now, and it's a part of me. It's a part of my personality, and it's something that I know I will never let go. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys right here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and checking out my studio for 2023, even though it's almost over. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll catch y'all on our next video. Peace.